What's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel. I'm gonna pull a couple cards and tell you what today's conversation is gonna be about. What are we talking about? I feel guided to use this deck, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna split this deck and see exactly what Spirit wants to chit chat about today. Whoever this message is going to be for, take what resonates and leave the rest. Alright, so we have loss here. Okay, so against your will, you have been put in situations or circumstances that are unfavorable for you. You got the shorter end of the stick. There's some regrets around not catching it before you had to lose it. So if that resonates with you and you felt completely powerless to a person, place, thing, or situation, then I feel like that's what Spirit wants to talk about ultimately. We also have patience here. I'm also hearing something about a false sense of safety, right? I heard provider. Wanting the protection from a provider is a false sense of safety. You can go from one frying pan and straight directly into the fire because it's easy for someone to exploit the fact that you're so wide open and willing to accept whoever they are or what they are in the event that they're providing you. Okay, I heard air quotes, providing you some type of safety or security in your life. So in these types of situations, some of the red flags that you may have started to see, if you haven't started to see it already, is contingency, right? In the event where you are being hard-headed, disobedient, not following rules, not playing by this person's rules, they'll start by trying to coerce you, and if that doesn't work, then they'll leave you to find out for yourself. They'll leave you to figure it out on your own after you went through so much, after you've gone through great lengths to help them when they needed it, or to be there for them when they needed it. No matter if it's on the extreme of the extremely successful or the extreme of someone that couldn't afford you if they wanted to. Okay, it really is saying that both scenarios apply. So I feel like Spirit wants to expose a narcissist or narcissistic behavior pattern from the wealthy perspective, and a narcissistic behavior pattern from the consciousness of lack perspective. Both perspectives participate in the same type of fragmental processing of information. The way they operate is fragmented, whether they have money or no money. They're just two extremes of the same spectrum. All right, someone's on the spectrum. You may have suspected that, and that's confirmation. If you suspected that someone may be on the autistic spectrum. Okay, I also saw a rainbow, so someone could be sexually fluid or have an identity. They struggle with their identity, their sexual identity. Hesitation in reverse. Okay. Anytime you start trying to love yourself and put yourself first or prioritize you, you will run into a bump with this person. This is the type of person where you would have to live a double life around them. When you're around them, you have to be like, oh, I need you. Compartmentalizing your reality to fit your circumstances. And then when you're away from this person, you could say, oh, I love myself. I could never. I'm on my own. I don't need this person. I'm over it. But when they're around, you're a different person. Okay, some of you guys, this is going to be a trigger to the enabler, right? Because this is learned behavior through practice. I practiced this with you. You taught me that you value my opinion of you more than you value your own. So this is how I treat you. So if you're dealing with relationships where that's how they treat you, the spirit is saying it's because when this person comes around, or when this type of person is around you, you fold on your own belief system. Like you fold on something that you said you weren't going to do. You become hesitant. If you said, oh, I'm not going to be dealing with this person no more, I'm staying away from this type of person, whatever. Anytime that they have, trust me, those narcissists are keeping a record of any time you went back on your own word. Even if it wasn't with them, they could have watched you go back on your own word with children, with family members, with friends. And it taught them through learned behavior, right? Because levels of consciousness on the spectrum, they learn better through hands-on interaction, right? So they may struggle with communication or listening to people. But when it comes to adapting to their environment and learning things, how to physically do something, they're faster at doing that because they're more conditioned. Okay, it's a level of consciousness that's easily conditioned and used as a weapon. Okay, so you can tend to, usually when I think of a person's consciousness being used as a weapon, their vessel may lay dormant at times, and it's like a vessel that has no real the owner controls it. It has no real free will, and so anything can step into it. A really nice owner, or a very corrupt owner. And you would have had experiences like, there's a stranger in my house. Took a while to figure out. Why to be who you say you are? It gotta be someone else. 'Cause he wouldn't touch me like that. And he wouldn't treat me like you do. He would adore me. He wouldn't ignore me. So if someone's been ignoring you, definitely to humble you. So we have the Chief in reverse. And I'm going to read from the book with this one because I really want to connect with the relationship between the cards. Oh, I got to hide the tatas. Okay. Maybe we can put some cherry blossom on that one. Okay, so let me see something here. Let's see. Let's get one more card and then we'll start. Then we have a nomophobe. Alright, bottom of the deck we have Ebens, mystery, reading between the lines, intuition. Alright, underneath the middle deck we have vision, manifestation, meditation. Okay, so you have closed a chapter in your past, and so because you closed this chapter in your past, you're remaining a mystery. Okay. Some things you're going to take to your grave, and other things it's like you don't want to relive it, you don't want to remember it. A lot of you guys, this is going to really hit home for those of you that really are trying to stay away from past connections or past energy, being able to read into you, tap into you, and things like that. So let's see, the Chief in reverse. What message are you trying to give? He put it on me. He put it on me. I'm still here. There it is. I said to myself, I'm gonna pause it so y'all wouldn't have to wait, but look at us. We're already on it. Okay, so we have oversight, inattentive, controlling, following others, under the control of another, ignoring the facts. So that's this Chief in reverse. That's the person that's in your past you don't want to be with, or you don't love this person anymore. Okay. Then we have Nagas, which is 14. Wait, which deck is this? Yeah, this is the alien deck. Okay. Nagas, 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 Nagas. I promise you, every time I hear the word Nagas, I think of nigga. Nigga. I'm sorry. It's like my favorite. I think they say ninjas nowadays. There it is, Nagas. Alright, so we have Nagas. Ancient Hindu and Buddhist texts speak of a semi-divine serpent being called Nagas, which is Sanskrit for serpent. The Nagas are described as powerful, very beautiful, and highly advanced snake reptoid beings that are advantageous to humans, while also dangerously fearsome and temperamental if provoked. Ancient iconography depicts the Nagas with upper human faces and torso and snake bodies from the waist down. Nagas is male and Naginis is female. Some suggest that the Nagas could be a human hydricide genotype from the Alpha Draconian race. Like the Alpha Draconians, Nagas have the capacity to shapeshift into total human form. The Nagas' full form is fourth dimensional and not visible to the average low third vibrational human sensory perception. The Hindu epic poem, the Mahabharata, makes references to the Nagas. Many ancient iconographies and texts around the world depicts powerful serpent beings, including Quetzalcoatl from Mexico. I don't know what that is. The rainbow serpent from Aboriginal Australia, and Greek god Glycon and goddess Echidna. Being subterranean, the Nagas prefer to mostly reside in the deep, dense ocean waters. Away from human population. They are highly protective to their private environments. Unlike the terra firma, walking, talking humanoids, Nagas are more comfortable inhabiting the subtle, sensual energy fields where they fluidly generate their nectar of immortality from the depths of the ocean. Very, very interesting. Let's see. Alright. I think it was very interesting how this card depicts like the chakra colors interwoven. It also gives me DNA. Okay, I like to intuit it. And then let's look at the nomophobe. There we go. The nomophobe: addictions, obsessions, fear, escapism, valuable information, illusions, anxiety, insomnia, attachments, internet addiction, fear of missing out, enslavement, mental prison, phobias, consumption, distractions. Oh. So you know what I'm getting automatically off of these cards? Let me tell you what I'm getting. So pretty much relationships where people are like they ignore you, they don't know how to treat you, where they have a hold on you, typically result in you staying in connections longer than you need to. And these connections and relationships likes to have control. They like to have people to follow. All right, they're under someone else's programming, someone else's. You know how I spoke about the puppeteering, and even if you present facts to this person that debunks whatever their belief systems are, they will ignore it and continue to do what they're doing. So they lack accountability. But this is deeper than a lacking of accountability. This is literally being unable to perceive a certain color, a certain perspective, a certain ideology, a philosophy. Their brain is incapable of comprehending. They wouldn't be able to follow along with you. Loyalty to a fault. You may notice during the conversation, you find yourself saying, let's go back to the original point or reason why we came to this discussion to begin with, and they may struggle to remember the basis of the argument or the basis of the context of whatever y'all talking about. Okay. You may also threaten this person's you threaten their position, or they may assume that you're threatening their position. And typically if someone else or something else is controlling this person through loyalty to that mother, brother, sister, friend, religion, belief systems, whatever, that parasite would begin to look at you like, elevated enzymes, white blood cells that work to remove that parasite or that virus from infecting the host entirely. And so you're always going to be a threat, okay? But your threat is only as good as your ability to go deep within the waters of yourself. So you being able to go deep within the waters of yourself, right? Because I feel like Nagas to me is the serpent, which is the infinity symbol. Being able to, every step you take forward, you're willing to go within, into your Akashic, into the quantum realm, into uncomfortable topics and discussions, to venture deep within your genetics, your bloodline, to better understand how, not necessarily why, but how different creations came about, what their purpose was. I'm getting Miss Frizzly. You know how Miss Frizzly go in the magic school bus and she goes and she shrinks herself and she goes within the body. That's what this is. Your ability to go within the body and see where the manifestation is originating from, what about it, how it interacts with the rest of the moving parts within our psyche, within our mind, within our spiritual realm, and then kind of like unlock that DNA. That's what I'm getting from that, really. Because like the card said, it's part one level of consciousness and it's part another. But this level of consciousness would be like the 3D level of consciousness that wouldn't be able to perceive. They would lack the perception necessary to access the Nagas, access that wisdom within your DNA. And when someone lacks the ability to access that knowledge, they will become threatened by you being able to do it, and then you may remain complacent, waiting for the future to happen. And then if you know too much with Nomophobe about what's going to happen with the future, you may try really hard to change it. Both trajectories, whether you become so complacent because it's already been fated for it to happen a certain type of way and you do nothing, or you try to change it because you know too much, it's still saying that somewhere along the line, remaining in a fantasy becomes like an erotic novel, a place where you could go. So part of you may be longing to escape into that fantasy, into that erotic novel, that erotic fantasy within your head, the creative space that you can compartmentalize and create a space where you're in a whole relationship with your imagination, But still, I feel like it's not so much as the loss of this person that I feel like you're holding on to. It's kind of like grieving a version of yourself. The unwelcome change. You felt like you were forced into that change. And so if you choose not to be with someone because me as a reader, right, or someone online or on the internet that you obsessively watch tells you that this is a lesson and that you will eventually not be with this person, that would be an example of knowing too much and choosing not to be with that person, but not getting the lesson that allows that version of yourself, your heart's desires, has to change. Something within your desires that's already within you has to die away in order for you to feel like, okay, I learned everything I needed to learn with this person and I'm ready to move on, and have another experience with the same energy, just in a different way. Now, it may not be with this person, and that's what going within would teach you, is that this same energy has many different forms. On every dimension, there's another version. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Loki, but that's the example that I'm picking up from the quantum realm or the metaverse. It's like for every one archetype or one expression of existence, there's an infinite amount of that expression being currently experienced right now. Not in the future, not in the past, but simultaneously all happening at the same time. So your attachment to losing something would no longer be an attachment anymore. It would be a necessary means to experience something different, or just to you understand that the wheel is going to keep moving, the world is going to keep turning, and you must go on, no matter how many times you reincarnate, no matter how many times you play out the same story in millions of different ways. There's really nothing new under the sun. It's all recycled energy. Energy never dies, for real, for real. It just takes on a different form, and that's why we have Nagas energy. So it's like, think of Nagas like masculine and feminine energy having sex with itself and then producing an infinite amount of possibilities every 8 seconds of the day. Okay, every 5 to 8 seconds of the day. Creating. Yeah, creating at a rapid rate. Completion. Yeah, because I think in Loki, it was pretty much about, he has so many variants. That's what they called it. Variants of himself. But then there was only like one feminine. This is probably why they may say like, oh, it's more. Would that mean that they're saying that it's more men on the earth than there are women? I don't know. It's more masculines than there are. Well, that would be kind of true, right? Because masculine representation of creation would be everything. The lip gloss covering her tatas, right? The matter that brings this all together, that brings the atoms together necessary to create the 3D illusion of something being real, tangible, X, Y, and Z. So that must be how the feminine goddess energy feels about everything that quote unquote matters as masculine. She would view it as masculine. We would view it as things, person, places, or things. But to her, it's all masculine because it's only one of her and many of him. Very, very interesting. So if you're blaming yourself for not getting it right the first time, that may be the plug or the reason that keeps you waiting and stuck in like a perpetual cycle of complacency. And that would also explain why nothing is manifesting and there is no vision. Something about my people perish. Okay. This is also why your guides may be trying to say like, no. What I'm trying to say is this. Let me explain it to you better. Let me do it to you. Because you're missing an eye. I'm seeing here. Okay. You're missing eyes. You're missing the whole. You're seeing through one lens. And then even in the nomophobe, like her eyes are closed. It's giving anxiety. Somebody's watching me. And that could create paranoia. And then paranoia can also make you complacent too. Because of things you don't want to experience or lose. What about for the future, spirit? For the example where it's like I know so much to the point where I want to make it, I want to fix the energy to go out in my favor because now I know too much. So the desire to want to fix things to go out in your favor comes from not wanting to lose or take a L, right? It comes from not wanting to face an unwelcomed ending, an unwelcome change again. And so it could be obsessed with, you ever been in a dream, and in the dream you kept like repeating the same aspect of the dream, trying to change the outcome, but the outcome would ultimately result in the same thing, just played out in many different ways? That may be you as well, like your intuition trying to tell you, like, see, doesn't matter how many ways you play it or how many times you do it, it's going to end the same way. But sometimes it's not really about you. Even if you are to know something is the end, giving it it's like, which one would you learn better from? Only you gonna know your style of learning. If you learn better from going through the experience and getting the lesson and walking away from it, and you can confidently say that you learned it your way, you understand it your way, and you got the message, then it's worth repeating a cycle over and over and over again. If you're better at someone telling you that the pot is hot and you're like, oh shit, the pot is hot, I don't need to go see if the pot is hot, and so I just won't do it. If you can live with that and you can feel like there's no loss in that, then ultimately you would benefit. But I could tell you 99.9% of the time, it doesn't matter what spirit says, what I say, or what your guides say. At the end of the day, when it comes to love, I can guarantee you, love of family, love of friends, love of a dog, love of a lover, a child, you're gonna always feel drawn to interact with the mate. Okay? And it doesn't even have to be in a romantic context. It could be a family member. You're gonna always feel drawn. Loyalty. Because that's the expression of how the feminine Nagas interacts with the masculine manifestation of her love. They're always going to magnetize towards each other. So you start to see it from a totally different perspective. You have more patience for yourself and your learning style and the pace that you learn in. And you approach situations with a sense of awareness, right? And I feel like that's only what Spirit is trying to do today, is to make you aware in today's conversation that your perception will shape your reality. Where you feel you will be tomorrow is only based off of how you co-create, how you interact today. Tomorrow, you can be in a nomophobe perspective of I want to be where you are. This may be the message that you've been waiting for. Give me permission to call that ninja that I love so much. Give me permission to pick up that's my favorite YouTube channel. Tell me it's time again. And that's okay. Maybe you feel like you're waiting for that confirmation because you feel something burning inside of you. You feel like this lust coming up, this erotic energy, this sensual energy coming up, and you're waiting to find out where I can lay all this energy in. And I feel like you're going to, what I can see in the cards is that it's going to be expressed in so many different ways, in so many different matters. Whether it's the smile you carry with you as you walk down the street. You know, whether it's the love you put into making those cookies later on that night, you're gonna feel it explode. You're gonna have that orgasmic experience all day long. Okay. Yeah. Now the question is, if you so happen to entertain, because I feel like the Page of Wands is entertainment. You entertain the conversation or dialogue with someone. It's, you know, it's feisty. It's that spark. Okay, they like when you, the Queen of Cups energy. They like when you, this is someone, they like you better when you feel insecure about yourself. I think you know this. And so they may hit on you or fish for information. The Page of Wands can also fish for information. Like, oh, I bet you trying to go out there and find something to fuck, you know? When people say certain things like that, it's really because they're trying to spark up conversation with you. That's what the Page of Wands does. The Page of Wands is like, I bet you me when you see me with someone else. So they may have like conversations around you, you know, wanting you to see like, so we can play that game. The Page of Wands is someone to me that gets a little impulsive, you know. It's like an unexpected wow factor. I shocked you. So someone may be trying to like say something real shocking towards you. Especially if they say something that's demeaning, right? If back in the day this person says things like, you ain't shit, you ain't gonna be nothing, da, 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 and then y'all would kind of like spark a flame and then like kiss and make up, that is a potential resurfacing. Okay, now you know how we talked about, think of this like Russian roulette. Playing Russian roulette with your creation is you're gonna get what you give, right? So that's why we have the Fool here, where it's like, okay, bet I can go over there, I can blow your back out, I can blow your brains, and you would still feel like you hooked on me. At the end of the day, with the Empress in reverse, this is a 3-dimensional way of expressing the erotic kink, the fantasy. It's more of a kink, you know, like it's a kink that where you got to iron it out. There are going to be things that you got to iron out and talk about after the situation, because it ain't going to make sense. It's going to leave you feeling less confident about yourself. And the more confident you are in during intercourse, the more you wake up feeling free, light as a bird. I'm like a bird, I want to fly away, I don't know where my home is. Yeah, you just be out here. Baby, all I need for you to know is... And then that will leave you feeling like, you know what? Like you want to change. Because the Empress should not be in reverse. Especially right up clarifying Nagas. Because Nagas should have you in that goddess energy. So it's kind of like saying many will come, but who really deserves to experience your goddess energy? Who really deserves it? Do you have to tell the person how they should approach you? Will they be able to read in between the lines? Will your intuition open its floodgate to them, or will you be restricted from being able to access that fourth, 5, 6, 7th dimension? Because it feels like this level of vibration only creates more robots, only creates more food supply, energy sources, not necessarily, when you engage in certain, with people that are in alignment with your vibration and where you are, what will happen is you will become a vessel or a portal for higher vibrations. It's no different than when the process that they take with breeding dogs, right? The pedigree, all of that is real, as insensitive as it sounds. For people that walk around saying it, tea is tea, no matter how we like it. It can be hot, it can be piping hot, or it can be lukewarm. But at the end of the day, it's creation. It's interesting we have, that's what happens. It's like you turning to social media, readings, different things like that it's like my vision is cloudy right now. Okay, so I get it. So for some of you guys, it has served as like online readings, fantasy novels, erotic, your fantasy realm has served as a space to be able to escape your reality. Not saying that you want to change it, and that's fair. I feel like when you're honest with yourself, that I'm not really seeking to get out of that relation or to stop showing up for that person. I just want to be able to escape in a fantasy and have that connection with that fantasy while still maintaining my loyalty to my duty or my responsibility. And that's fair. Because I think at that point, you're intentional about why you watch what you watch, or why you do what you do, why you read the way you read, or whatever. Because like I said, for every step you take forward, you will venture 1,000 or 100 years into the past. Because the only thing that's real is what has already happened. The future is now. And so this is going to keep reminding you that if you don't get out there and live, you're not writing it. You're stuck. The time is still frozen. And this is how we get the people that tend to walk away from the situation, that were using it as a way to confirm for themselves that something was coming in for them. Not getting the manifestation of that makes them feel like this has been a waste of my time. Watching all this has been a waste of my time. Listening to love readings has been a waste of my time. So it's like Spirit is saying, whether you realize that something has been a waste of your time by being mad at the reader or the practice or the journey, either way, both scenarios get you off your ass. So it's going to get you off your ass to get up and go and turn the TV off and go live your life, so that way other people have something worth writing about. Or you're going to use it as an opportunity to, live a life that's back and forth. But even that creates something interesting to read and talk about. I don't know. It feels like The story is still being written. And so having a healthy balance between the spiritual realm and your human experience is crucial. The Two of Swords is saying that you want to be happy again, but you don't know how to get there. And you don't want to look away long enough that would help make you miss your opportunity. And so you got to constantly using it as encouragement to help you get through work, to help you get through certain situations, to help you not be bitter, to help you give you hope, something to look for. So in a lot of ways, that's fair. I feel like in a lot of ways people are using it as secret hope. This is a place where I secretly go to restore hope, that something may happen for me. I think the only problem becomes when that hope not manifesting, when eventually makes you feel like you wasted your time with the Two of Swords. Either way, you're going to be patient, but if you don't start seeing something good or something change, it feels like you may change religions, okay? You may be like, you know what? This is all a scam. Breaking point, I told you. Limit, final straw. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired of this shit. If this doesn't get any better, if I don't start seeing my wishes come, if I don't start seeing something happen that validates to me that I'm doing the right thing, I'm going to go back to that relationship. And then some people are actually saying it from the context of, because they think that they're staying out here doing it on their own. Damn, that's messed up. The example they gave me is like Harriet Tubman going back for multiple people that said that they want to be free from something. And then she puts her life in danger to help them get out of a situation. And then they get to the free land and they miss where they came from. And on some level, low-key resent her for even suggesting that they should want to be free from their circumstances. And so I really feel like those that are meant to remain in their struggle, like Spirit is saying, don't break your neck to tell them like how to get out their struggle, or that they need to get out of their struggle. And that may be controversial because some people may feel like, oh, well, you're supposed to tell them what's right from wrong, or you're supposed to tell them what they should or shouldn't do. No, that's people using you to answer the questions they should already have the answers to. And for some of you, you're only meant to confirm that which they already know. Because when they're guided to you, or when they find you on social media, or when they bump into you, they're already running away from it. They're already running away from it, or this person's already running away from them. And so it doesn't become fun anymore. Chasing. It's like, I'm not chasing this person. I don't even care to be with them no more. That's cap. That is cap. You hoped that at some point this person would have an epiphany. Wake up, break free from something, and realize, profess their love to you, and y'all could move off into a new world. Jackfruit, start over. So that's what I have for you. This has been really fun diving into this conversation. So many different perspectives, concepts, and different things like that. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I want to thank Spirit for allowing me to be a vessel for our highest and greatest good. And I want to thank you. Yes, you, the viewer. Come here. I love you, okay? And why did I hear that car? I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. What did you say? I wanna. What she said? I want you to jiggle that thing that got in the back of my throat or something. I can't. I'm hearing all types of stuff. Trigger warning. Love you guys. Catch you in the next one. Bye.